To construct an ellipse using the Foci process, step 1 is to establish the vertical and horizontal axis. In this case, we're talking about major and minor axis. Construction lines. To the centermost part. We establish on the vertical and horizontal as major and minor. We want to set off on the horizontal 120 millimeters. So we get the center 60 millimeters to my left and 16 millimeters on my right. Okay, then the height would be 70, so I need to establish 35 and 35 above to get 70. I want to label these points, so 5 millimeter guideline. Again, the construction lines must be used to represent these points. Namely, this here is point A, this is point B, this point here is C, and this is D. I need 2 points of reference here to the center on the major axis, and these would be called focal points. How do I get the focal points? I need to use my compass. Set your compass to a radius of A to this center, or half of what is the major axis. So I'll set at A and I'll open to the center. Okay, to the center. Once I have that established, then I need to reset my compass to point C or point D, any of the two. In this case, I'm going to use the top, so I'll set at point C. And from point C, I scribe an arc below to intersect the horizontal line. I will use the same guidelines here. So this would be focal point 1, and this would be focal point 2. Okay, so A, B, major axis, C, D, minor axis, F1, F2, focal points. Now I need to divide the center to F1 and center to F2 into an equal number of marks, equal number of points. So in this case, I would use my ruler. I want to measure what's the distance from the center to where F1 is, what's the center to F2 to, and the center to F1. So this distance, I see that it is center to 5 to F2 is almost 5 centimeters. So what I do, I need to set off an equal number of points that should not go beyond F2. So I will set equal distance. I'll set one at 10 millimeters, at 2, at 3, and at 4. If I continue, then I will go beyond F. If I continue, I'll go beyond F2, and I don't want that, so I'll just set 1, 2, 3, and 4. In a similar manner, set off over to your left hand side, so I'll set off every 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I set one more, then I'll go over F1, and I don't want that again, so that will be point 1, 2, 3, 4, point 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to label these points 5 millimeter. And I'll label them accordingly. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we continue here, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we have points of reference 4, 3, 2, 1 close to F1, and 4, 3, 2, 1 on my right hand side that correspond to focal point 2, right? So what we do now is the following. We want to set off. We're going to consider the following points: A and B. I'm just doing a circle so we know what points we're considering. Okay, and we're going to set points or compass at F2 and F1, points of reference. Okay, so what we do first is set our compass at A and open to where 1 is located on this horizontal. Okay, we say A to this first point, 1. That's the distance I want. So A to point 1. Okay, try to be as accurate as possible. A to point 1. This radius, I want to open to this radius, and now remove the compass and position your compass at F1. So you will always, and I'll do a circle here and one on F2. At F1, so once again let me repeat the process. A to 1, remove compass, set at F1 sorry, on my left hand side, F1, and I scribe an arc above and 1 below. Okay, so A to point 1, remove compass, reposition at F1, scribe an arc above and 1 below. Okay, now I need to consider corresponding points A to point 1, but point 1 will be the one close to F2. So I'll say A to 1 over to my left hand side. Okay, that's the radius I want. 1, okay, on the left hand side. Remove the compass, but this time we now want to position at F2. F2, I position my compass, and then I scribe this radius. I scribe to correspond to the first one I did from F1. So I'll scribe 1 above, 1 below. Okay, and that process, that concept will be repeated for the corresponding point. So I'll repeat again. We're going to take a look at point 2 now. A, point 2, A to point 2, remove the compass, set at F1, scribe an arc above, 1 below. Okay, then position my compass again to A, but this time I open to A2, and this 2 would be on the right hand side, or the one close to F2, right? So this point, I'll open to 2. To 2. This radius I use now, I reposition. I want to set my compass now to F2. Set at F2, and I scribe a corresponding arc to the one above and to the one below. So we have A being the first point, 1, 2, A, 1 and 2. So we have 5 points obtained for this ellipse. So I set my compass at A again, and I go to 3. A to 3. Open to 3. Set my compass at F1. Always F1. Then I scribe an arc above, 1 below. Corresponding point A3 now, over to my right hand side. A3, and remove my compass, reposition at F2, set my compass at F2, scribe an arc above and below. Okay, so that is the same concept we're using to obtain. So I'll finish off number 4, A to 4 on the left hand side, position at F1, scribe an arc above, 1 below. Back at A 2.4, reposition F2, and I scribe an arc above, 1 below. Okay, and so we have the first half of that ellipse. Now we want to do the opposite of what we were doing here. First we used A1 to my left, so the same process will follow, but this time we're going to do from the right hand side. So I say B now, B1, okay, we're sitting at B1, reposition at F2, and I scribe an arc above, 1 below. Okay, then I reposition my compass and I set at B, and I open to B1 but on the left hand side, so B1. So the B1, okay, B1, I'm showing that it's B1, and I reposition, but this time I'll set at F1, okay, and then I reposition and I scribe an arc above, 1 below. Okay, then same concept, B now, B2, reposition at F2, scribe an arc above, 1 below. B and B2 on my left hand side. Okay, then I set at F1 and I scribe corresponding arcs. We set up from B and A and we scribe from F, or from the focal point. So B again, B3 now, B3, F, reposition at F, scribe an arc above, 1 below, reposition B3, okay, F3, arc above, arc below, B4, then F2, arc above, arc below, reposition at B, and B4, reposition F1, arc above, arc below, and there we have 4 points. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Let me check this one. I think I did F1, okay, B2, F2, right, B3, I'm just checking, B3, F3, okay, then B4, 4, so B1, B4, F4, B3, sorry, B3 here, F1, 3, oh, it should be here, yeah, it's the one that was off, okay, so it is B3 that was off, okay, so let me erase that, so this is not correct, yeah, and there we have it. We have the ellipse, and all I need to do now is join the points. I'll start over this side and finish off at this. Okay, so I'm taking more or less an idea of how it's gonna go. Okay, and with this side, it's in that direction. Okay, and the bottom side, this is the, like that, and then finalize with this side. There, that's the ellipse. Five millimeter guideline. To construct an ellipse, by Foci process or method, any of the two. I'll put method here. Okay, that's the subtopic for this construction. Okay, thank you very much for following.